everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious. If this is your first time here, please do well to like, share and subscribe to my channel. We do talks real issues and real behavior and real truths. Today I want to talk about something very clear that you and I need to know. MAGA is really mad. Yes, we are seeing a lot of anger, shouting and emotional behavior from MAGA supporters today. This is not strength, and this is not leadership, and this is not control. This is uncontrolled anger. But as a black woman, I want to say this clearly: we don't support MAGAs. What we are seeing from MAGAs is too much rage, too much hate, and too much blaming from each people and other people. Being mad all the time does not fix problem. Shouting does not fix the problem. Attacking people does not fix the problem. All it does is to make families, communities and country more divided. So guys, in this video I want to break this MAGA's anger here. I want to break it down. So please stay to the end of the video so that you will understand everything that
MAGA's losing their minds over Donald Trump praising Zohran Mamdani. And I gotta tell you, I love it. I want to say it was Jon Stewart, I cannot remember who though exactly, said that by the way that these people have treated Zohran Mamdani, that is not only MAGA, but Republicans and the corporate Democrats, they're going to usher in socialism into this country. The great boogeyman that they have railed against for years. These people are going to have the American people, by and large, turn to it and say, well, the current system isn't working. Let's try something new. And I believe that day is here. One of my friends last night on the live asked a phenomenal question. They said, is there a crossover between socialism or people that identify as socialist and MAGA? And the answer is yes. They don't know it, but by this man embracing it, they're mad right now. But as soon as they see us laughing about it, they're going to try to take the power back on it. And they're going to say, actually, it's a brilliant idea by the president. This was always the play. That, you know, they're going to move the goalpost again. Why? Because it's what they do best for him. But again, I know many people don't want to hear this, but Trump actually runs on a populist message. He rails against the establishment. He rails against people cheating the system. The difference is that he is the person. Mamdani, AOC, Bernie Sanders, they all run with that same message as well, going against the establishment. The difference between them and him is they actually fight against it. Again, like I said, he is the establishment. So this is an interesting moment. This is a really interesting moment. That I want to say it was Jon Stewart that said that they're going to usher in socialism. I think it's happening before our eyes in real time. So this is something to watch over the coming days, especially as Trump is posting this. I ain't never seen him smile at anyone like that before. This man, Mamdani he either smells good or he's really, really handsome in person as he is on the picture. I don't know. I've never seen him look at anyone like that before. Maybe not even Bubba.
Joy Reid. You know, I like this Joy Reid. I am a big proponent of everything happens for a reason. Almost everything happens for a reason. It might not be the reason we want, okay? But everything happens for a reason. And Joy Reid being let go by MSNBC for pretty much no reason at all definitely happened for a reason, because she is unleashed, unchained, and unbound, and I am here for it. On her podcast, she kind of went on a rant, and you guys have probably heard it because people have been soundbiting it, and it's been going around. If you are following me on the YT, I will have the whole clip at the end of this video. So if you guys want to see it and see what she said, it's about a 7-minute clip. I'll put it at the end of this video. But I not only want to speak about what she said, but I also want to add something that I don't think she mentioned at the end. And I think it is probably one of the biggest things that she was talking about. But let me get into it. So she went kind of on a rant and was like, dude, y'all got everything you want. What are you so angry about? Like, y'all are still some of the angriest people on the right that I have ever seen. Y'all still angry. Y'all still coming after people, still blaming people for your problems. Like, you have every single thing that you want. And she started listing off some things. And I do want to list off a couple of things that I have taken note of, some things that I've done videos of. They got Bone Spurs in office, all of Bone Spurs people, all of their podcast sensations and things like that, and the FBI, not a lick of police work between them, but they're in there, and then they want to criticize the FBI for not doing any police work when it came to Kirk, but I'm like, they've never done any police work. He is completely unqualified for the job, but that's what you guys wanted, right? Like, you guys wanted people who just aligned with your ideology. You didn't care if they were actually qualified for the job, and the people who were qualified for the job happened to not fit into your mold, and so they were DEI hires, and so you got rid of them. You got rid of the gay guy in the FAA, the black people and the women in the Defense Department and in the DOJ. If they did not adhere to your political ideology, in your mind, they were not qualified for that position. So you got what you wanted there. You put one of the most dangerous people ahead of the CDC. And in all of these really crucial departments, not only did they fire with Doge all of the people who were actually qualified for those positions and knew how those agencies worked, but they replaced them with yes people who would just do Bone Spurs' and his administration's bidding. And this is what we have. We have planes falling out of the sky, landing upside down, having engine failures, clipping each other in the middle of the air. We have people in Florida with children who do not have to be vaccinated at all, and they are free to mingle with other children and get each other sick as much as possible. We literally just had an unaliving of a child from measles in California. The child was unvaxxed. Now you guys are erasing history, shutting down museums and taking history that you don't like and taking it out of the museums, frightening people for telling the truth because it's not revisionist enough for you. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you look like the bad guy on ideology that you still believe. And so you want to make everybody think that that ideology is a good thing. So you want to erase history so that people do not understand where you're actually coming from and where you want to go. You've gotten what you want when it comes to removing the quote-unquote illegal immigrants from this country, when in actuality, they're just removing anybody with melanated skin that looks foreign to them. And it's okay because the Supreme Court said that they can profile people based on the color of their skin when it comes to immigration. Not understanding that most of our immigrants are white. You have gotten what you wanted when it comes to the economy. You voted for tariffs. You got tariffs. And these tariffs are not only crippling our small businesses, but they are decimating our farmers. And our farmers are no longer getting the subsidies that I so eloquently laid out in one of my last videos. Go check that out, about all the subsidies that Biden had provided during his tenure in office and that Bone Spurs immediately took away. But they got everything they wanted. They owned the libs, which is what they wanted to do. You know, liberal tears and all of that. 7.5% of black people are unemployed. That's what they wanted. It doesn't matter that the overall unemployment has also gone up. But I'll get back to that later. All of these things they said they wanted. All of these things is what they voted for. And when people are down in my comments, that's what they say. Yeah, Bone Spurs is standing on business. And I like everything that he's doing because he, X, Y, and Z, nothing that actually puts money in their own pocket. It's just stuff that hurts other people. But I digress. But then Joy Reid in her rant got to the meat of it. She said that the reason why these MAGA, these people on the right who have gotten literally everything that they wanted, are so angry still is because we still don't want them in our spaces. We are not going to capitulate to them and tell them that they did a good job or that they were right about everything. We're still fighting. We're still lifting up our voices. And new voices, like mine, which didn't start until January 20th, are starting to come out. And MAGA doesn't really like that. MAGA thought that if they won and they hurt us bad enough, that we were going to somehow give in and tell them that they were right about everything. That's not how that works. We still don't want you in our spaces. As you cry about not being invited to cookouts or having your family cut you off, there's a reason for that. You're toxic, and we don't want you in our spaces. We also don't want your fake and unheard prayers. I got a lot of that since the Kirk situation, with a lot of people on the right who agree with him, who literally said, I feel like I lost a friend. A lot of people who would listen to his rhetoric and listen to what he said and agree with the things that he would say about women, about the black community, about the trans community, and every other marginalized community. And then get down into my comments and say that they were going to pray for me, as if any God in that book you claim to serve would ever hear your prayer. Your prayer at this point is a curse, and you can keep it to yourself. But I digress. MAGA men, and I mean black MAGA men and white MAGA men, and any MAGA men in between. Liberal women do not want you. Ever. That's another reason why y'all angry. Because for some reason you don't want your own MAGA women like you want liberal women. Maybe it's because it's a challenge? What is that? Ew. Go away. Nobody wants you. And honestly, that is why the black pill is a thing. And if you don't know about the black pill, people have been going down the Nick Fuentes rabbit hole and learning about the black pill. I did not do a video on that, and I might not, because it is absolutely diabolical. But another reason why they're mad, especially the farmers, Bone Spurs had mentioned something about the immigrants taking black jobs. always wanted to act like they didn't know what a black job meant. Black people knew that the black jobs was the jobs in the field, the jobs in the hospitality, custodian positions, and things like that. Those were the black jobs that Bone Spurs was talking about. Farmers, like 78% of the farmers in Arkansas, thought if they voted for Bone Spurs and he got rid of all of their immigrants, and then they took DEI and affirmative action programs away and fired all of the black people, that black people would just assimilate back into the fields. See, the thing is, you obviously don't know black people very well. I did a video about how white people still think that we are in those concrete rises. They still think that 3% of our population is in poverty. And the ones that they do see in the nice white neighborhoods, we're just one of the good ones that made it. 48% of the black community are middle class, and it's growing, as well as our numbers. So we don't have to get back in our fields. If black people don't have a job and they get fired from their positions like I did at the beginning of this year, losing all of my clients with freelance, then they're just going to find another way. We are extremely creative. We are extremely innovative. We are extremely resilient and determined. And we have decided that not only are we not getting into the streets, we're not getting into the fields. So they're mad about that. But I think there is something else that they are really super mad about that is a little bit more below the surface. They got everything that they wanted. They got the people in the positions. They got the person at the top of the ticket. They got everything they wanted. And they thought, because they were told that they were going to start feeling more relief, that they were going to get rich, have money, be on top. They thought that if they voted for a guy like Bone Spurs and they followed the ideology of a person like Kirk, they would be on top again. They thought that they were going to be invited to the party. And a lot of them right now are figuring out that they've been duped. They were tricked into voting for somebody who is only using them to usurp power. And now they are losing the things in their life. They've lost their families because their families don't want to talk to them. Their farms, in many cases. Their homes, in some cases. They're out of a job, too. They lost those government contracts that they had. So now they are hurting more because prices are going up because of tariffs. I still have that video coming out. And they now don't have a scapegoat because everybody that is in power, making them feel the way that they feel, are the people that they put there. That is why they're angry. It's because they were wrong. And they know they were wrong. And they don't want to admit that they were wrong. That's the true reason why they're angry. And I'm so here for this.
Spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand it. Here's this guy right here.
There he is, right there.
Right there. That guy right there.
That's look at that vehicle.
Yeah, that's an immigrant.
That's an immigrant with a $100,000 Lexus.
This perfectly sums up most of racist people, if not all of them. Their resentment for people of color and successful individuals stems from underlying jealousy and ignorance. They do not understand how black people and other people of color, especially immigrants from other nations, can become so successful in the country that they were born in. A country they believe that is rightfully theirs and only theirs, to only white people. They are jealous of what we have and desperate to have it, but the last thing they're willing to do is go to college, get an education, go to a university, learn a trade, learn a high income skill, invest. You cannot be successful with the tool of ignorance and arrogance. Take me for example. I am a 24-year-old black man, the same person they look down on, and I am a middle-class citizen. I have a degree in cybersecurity and social media marketing. I'm an analyst, day trader, and I'm a content creator. That's only some of the things I do. They're not just hobbies. I make money doing this shit every single day. 10 years from now, guess where I'm gonna be? I'm right here. I'm gonna be up here, if not higher than that. These guys are in their 40s to late 50s, and they're over here thinking like this, in the position they are in. Meanwhile, they down here, because they're too busy worrying about what an immigrant has that they don't have.
So there's a lot of horrible things going on in our country right now, whether it's masked federal agents terrorizing communities and kidnapping people, the stock market crashing, everybody at risk of losing their health care, federal employees being fired, air traffic controllers not getting paid, and Trump and the Secretary of Transportation threatening to fire the bad apples in the air traffic control. There's so many horrible things going on that people could choose to be mad about. But the MAGA right, the MAGA Republicans can't get mad at those things because it's all the fault of Donald Trump. So they are spending their time getting mad at a couple really unbelievably stupid things. First is this insane conspiracy about the election in California. It says, this is Right Angle News, and they say ballots for California's Proposition 50 that would allow Gavin Newsom to redistrict the state and benefit Democrats have a huge error with the no option, visible through a hole in the ballot for anyone to see the vote. Like, I'm sorry, MAGA, that you don't know how to fold paper and that you don't know that you can flip a piece of paper over when you stick it into a ballot, but that doesn't make you victims of Democratic cheating. Libs of TikTok also immediately jumped on this rage train. Sent to me by a follower, voters in multiple California counties, including San Francisco, are reporting that their ballots have holes in them, which reveal if they voted no on Prop 50. Prop 50 would allow California to redistrict its state. That needs to be investigated immediately. And this guy, Paul A. Sizpol, whatever his name is, super hardcore MAGA influencers share this everywhere and expose Gavin Newsom for his cheating and redistricting. Again, I'm sorry that you people are stupid and you don't know how folding paper works. That doesn't make you victims, and that doesn't make the Democrats cheaters. And first of all, there are holes in the ballot envelopes so that when all the ballots are brought in and the ballots are taken out of the envelopes can be easily zip-tied together in bunches for easier storage, and it makes it immediately obvious if you missed any ballots. Those holes are literally there for election security and for consistency and to make sure that the vote is fair. You can literally put like a piece of paper in there to block whatever is shown, or like I said, you can fold it differently. But this is not a new thing that MAGA Republicans have done. They've been complaining about these holes in ballots for years and freaking out over how you can see the ballot and that means Democrats can throw it away. Like, babes, you know that people take the ballots out of the envelopes, right? Like, everybody can see the ballot. The people that are counting your vote can see your ballot. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's in the envelope or not, you stupid freaks. And MAGA Republicans in the United States and also like international right-wing weirdos are all losing their minds over the Canterbury Chapel or Cathedral in the UK because they did a graffiti sticker installation from a local artist that's supposed to be geared towards marginalized communities. This is Tommy Robinson. I don't know a ton about him, but he seems to be just a weirdo, right-wing, crazy person in England. He's posting about it, saying the oldest cathedral in England, Canterbury Cathedral, established in 597 AD by St. Augustine. It was founded to reintroduce Christianity to the Anglo-Saxons. Now done up like this by a modern artist, he says, who doesn't know what gender they are. Nothing is sacred. It's literally stickers in like a small corner of the cathedral that can be removed. Also, if this church has lasted since 597 AD, I'm sure it will survive a few graffiti-style stickers. Even J.D. Vance is mad about this. It is weird to me that these people don't see the irony of honoring marginalized communities by making a beautiful historical building really ugly. That's the outside of the building. Looks the same to me, and again, it's just a few pillars inside with removable stickers, J.D. Vance. Their faux outrage is insane. They're acting like this is some kind of attack on Christianity by some non-binary artist. Like this is a slap in the face of God, as if Jesus would give a single flying fuck about this. And finally, MAGA freaks like Andy Ngo, who has been investigating Antifa for years, they're pissed because the protests outside of the ICE facility are peaceful, and people are starting to dress up like inflatable animals, and it's really adorable. But this is all just part of a deep state conspiracy. As footage by independent journalists of the months of violence in Portland began getting attention, Antifa bought inflatable costumes and are using the stunt to help their allies in liberal media and elected office present the lie that there was never violence. Meanwhile, it's literally just people in blow-up costumes dancing in front of the ICE facility, just highlighting how absurd this all is, that Trump continues to call it a war zone, when it's just Portlanders being Portlanders. And a Portland news station is doing a 24-hour live stream outside of the ICE facility, and this is the horror, the war-torn, ravaged city that they captured. So yeah, People like Andy Ngo and Nick Sorter and all these random psycho MAGA journalists are pissed that the ICE protests are not violent. They're mad because they think it's some deep state conspiracy to make it look silly. When in reality, it's just Portland, man. That's just Portland for you. And they're also mad about stickers going up at a cathedral. And they are mad that they don't know how to fold paper and put them in ballots. Like, these people are so unserious. There's real shit going on in the world, and they are just turning themselves into victims over their own stupidity. They weaponize their ignorance, and they weaponize their base's ignorance to try and distract from the very real fascism that this president is doing to all of us. It's propaganda, it's embarrassing, and it just highlights how dumb they are. Like, genuinely. If you're mad that you can see part of your ballot through a hole, I don't know how to talk to you as a human being. I don't understand. Do you know how to breathe? Do you know how to drink water? Like, I'm genuinely worried for your safety and continued survival if something like that makes you mad. MAGA just constantly proves themselves the dumbest people on earth, over and over and over again.
Explain why this behavior is dangerous, and I will talk about how this kind of thinking hurts. Thinking hurts black people, hurts democracy, and hurts unity. This is not about hating people. This is about accountability. This is about saying bad behavior is bad behavior. So please stay with me in this video. If you believe in peace, respect, and real progress, this conversation is for you. Let's talk about it.
Hey friends, so I tell you what, these No Kings 2.0 protests have Republicans and MAGA straight up triggered. But that just means we're doing something right. So don't let their hate keep you away. Come stand with us tomorrow because this movement is growing. We'll see you at No Kings 2.0. Wear yellow, bring a friend, and let's show them what democracy looks like.
Apparently Trump supporters are mad that Joe Biden called them garbage. If I was Biden, call you bitch. Dumbass bitch. Stupid ass bitch. A whore. A thought.
So I figured out the quickest and most effective way to trigger the maga. All you gotta do is read them the Constitution. They really don't like it. Let me show you. So I made this video about due process and how about everyone, according to our Constitution in the United States, whether you are a citizen or you are undocumented, is owed due process. I showed how it says person, not citizen, and this is something that the Supreme Court has consistently supported, specifically cited sources that say, yes, non-citizens have the right to due process, which means that undocumented immigrants are entitled to fair treatment under the law, which includes the right to defend themselves in court. And I want to be clear, in the video I made, I never mentioned any particular president. All I talked about was due process. Well, on FB, the MAGA found me, and they are having some big feelings. Let me show you. So here are some of the comments that I'm getting. You can pause to read any of them. I have never seen such a triggered little bunch of snowflakes ever before. I have watched toddlers be able to self-regulate better than this. All I did was read the Constitution. Are you that triggered by reading? MAGA claims constantly about protecting American values. All I did was read your Constitution. And the amount of just sheer denial is hysterical because it doesn't fit their narrative. Now, here's the thing, MAGA. You can disagree. You don't have to agree with what the Constitution says. That's your right. But the fact that you are flat out denying it is what is hysterical to me. The fact that you are showing no intellectual curiosity is very transparent. Not to mention, everybody in America having due process protects citizens. And that's such an important piece for you to understand. If only citizens were granted due process, then the police force, the government, could deem anyone that they don't like is not a citizen. And you wouldn't be able to prove you're a citizen because you wouldn't be granted due process. And I know many of you in my comment section are going to say, well, I'm a citizen, I could prove it. You wouldn't be able to because you wouldn't be afforded due process. If due process is only afforded to American citizens, then the government can decide that you're not a citizen just because they don't like you. It makes space for horrific government overreach, which according to your lore, you don't like. Everyone being owed due process protects citizens. well, I would never do anything that would make the government not like me. That's not how fascism works, sweetheart. You are never good enough for fascism. You are never good enough for a dictator. You will always fall short. I mean, some of the comments you all wrote under my video are so outrageous that if I wrote that in a sitcom, it would be denied for being too caricature-y. It wouldn't be believable. Like, you're not just a punchline in your own story, you're a hack punchline in your own story.
As we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you with this message. Please listen carefully. Anger is not leadership. Noise is not power. Hate is not strength. What are we seeing from MAGA is not about fixing American. It is about saying MAGA, staying divided, and staying in fear. As a black woman that I am, I believe in something better. I believe in respect, and I believe in justice. I believe in truth, and I believe in building, not destroying. So we must not let that anger control this conversation. We cannot let rage take over our families, our communities, and our future must demand better behavior. We must demand better thinking. If you agree with me, please don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear some messages like this, and subscribe to this channel. And don't forget, whenever you see my video, don't forget to watch, because on this channel we are always speaking the truth.